Well, the U.S. Central Command says no ship passed through the Strait of Hormuz during the first 24 hours of the American blockade.
Well, additionally, 6 merchant vessels were ordered by U.S. forces to turn around to re-enter an Iranian port on the Gulf of Oman. According to the CENTCOM, over 10,000 sailors, marines and airmen, along with over a dozen warships and aircraft are executing the mission to blockade ships entering and departing Iranian ports.
But shipping data and tracking reports tell a different story. According to maritime data from Kepler, at least 3 ships sailing from Iranian ports crossed the Strait of Hormuz despite the U.S. blockade. These ships were part of at least 7 Iran-linked vessels which passed the strait after the U.S. blockade came into effect.
Further, a report in the Wall Street Journal says that over 20 commercial ships have passed through the Strait of Hormuz in the last 24 hours.
The conflicting data has raised doubts over the U.S. blockade. Iran's Revolutionary Guards maintain that they are in full control of traffic through the Strait of Hormuz. And amid these claims, a report in the Wall Street Journal says that European countries are preparing a post-war plan to secure the Strait of Hormuz.
And according to the report, the European coalition, it would exclude the US, Israel and Iran. The plan is likely to be announced this week. The developments come at a crucial time.
Later this week, French President Emmanuel Macron and UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer will host a virtual meeting with several dozen countries to discuss policing the strait. But interestingly, the US will not be attending the meet.
Meanwhile, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian has said that Tehran is not seeking unrest and remains compliant with international laws. Well, his comments came shortly after US President Donald Trump. He announced that talks to end the Iran war could resume in Pakistan over the next 2 days.
Now, whoever we speak to, we say accept us within the framework of international law. We do not act against international law. You should accept those same international laws. They want to eliminate anything that leads to growth and awareness.
Well, for more on this, our correspondent from New York, Susan Tehrani, has sent us this report. Take a look.
U.S. officials say enforcement of the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz is underway. The United States Central Command reports that no ships have left Iranian ports in the first 24 hours, and 6 merchant vessels were directed to turn back. At the same time, more than 20 commercial ships have continued to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. Officials say that's because the blockade is limited to vessels that are connected to Iranian ports, while other international shipping is still being allowed to transit. On the diplomatic front, President Donald Trump says that talks with Iran could resume soon, indicating an outreach from Tehran despite the recent stall in negotiations. Separately, the Treasury Department says that it will not renew a temporary authorization that had allowed the sale of certain Iranian oil already at sea, with that measure set to expire in the coming days. Susan Tehrani reporting from New York for WION World is One.